wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Look at that.
We're gonna throw them right in the middle here.
Nice and soft, delicious, fresh.
And then that goes right in there. The cheese. Parmesan.
We're gonna take a nice little scoop of these noodles. Here we go, folks. The salty, savory, textured, noodly. I'm gonna show you how to get it out of the land making homemade from scratch noodles. We're gonna show you that it is possible to make your own food from scratch. You guys are interested in this home mill, the mock mill? There's a link down below in the description. Take all of that milled grain and sift it. The reason why we're sifting it is because this is going to be a lot better for the texture that we're going to be rolling these noodles in with. And this is where a lot of the nutrition for the wheat and the grain lives, in these hulls. As you can see, the darker in contrast with the lighter mixture there, that is the hulls and that is the germ and everything else that is highly nutritious. But right now we're worried about the noodle texture. So this is the product, and you can see as it sifts down there, kind of like the texture of dandruff.
But not the taste of dandruff. So now that we have this milled, we're gonna throw that into our working bowl here. You're gonna want 2 cups of flour. I like to just pack it down. So then there's 1 cup, and then we get the second cup here, cup 2. And then we're gonna take a half a teaspoon of salt, level that off. So then you're gonna take your whisk and kind of make sure that it's kind of another way to sift your flour, but this is making sure that the salt is even within that. I'm gonna create this little divot here, this hole. Take 3 eggs, farm eggs, nothing from the store. And then I'm gonna crack them separately in here just in case we got a rooster going. You just never know. Don't wanna ruin the whole thing because of it. We're gonna throw them right in the middle here and kind of start scrambling the eggs up here. So we just feed this in as we keep going until we get a dough consistency. So now it's kind of become the consistency. It's kind of broken up a little bit, and now I know that I can freely use my hands. And then I'm just gonna kind of knead this in together. It will look a little different than your regular bread dough. It's gonna be a little bit harder.
So after 8 to 10 minutes of kneading the dough, you are going to wrap it in plastic and let it sit for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, you're going to take your rested dough and you are going to cut a slice and get your Favor Kit attachment, link in description if you guys want to use the one that we use. And I like to put it on one, and we're going to make it nice and wide. Just give it a quick little roll. This is about good. We're just making it fit a little bit better. And into the slider it goes, and we're going to feed it in one more time, a smaller setting. And what we're doing right now is we're just going to make it uniform so it can fit through the other side of this, which is the noodle slicer. And for the noodle slicer, we're going to cut this in half because we like our noodles fairly short. Put it into the slicer. And would you look at that, folks? Fettuccine from scratch. Lay those down. And we're just gonna do this, rinse and repeat, until all of our dough is made into the noodles.
You can freeze this. So after you've gone through this process and you have your flour on here, you make little piles and then you put it into a freezer bag. And then once you've done that, then you just put them in your freezer, make sure there's no air in there, and it will last about 3 months in the freezer. What I am making is a homemade Alfredo sauce. So what you want to do is you're going to have a stick of butter, you're going to have a half a block of cream cheese, And you're gonna stir this a medium heat until it is completely worked in together. Thank you. And then once it's worked in together, then we'll continue the process of making homemade Alfredo sauce. All right, now that I have that all mixed together, I'm gonna take my seasonings. So I used a tablespoon of fresh pressed garlic, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and then 2 tablespoons of Italian seasonings. And then that goes right in there. I'm just gonna combine 2 cups of heavy cream. So we get our heavy cream from a local farm. That's what I suggest for this. You don't really want any of that store-bought stuff. Whisk it together. The cheese, Parmesan. So I'm gonna take about 1.25 cups of fresh grated Parmesan cheese, dump it on in here, and then I'm gonna continue to whisk. And then you just keep whisking it until it's all mixed together, and then you're gonna have this homemade Alfredo sauce that is gonna go perfect with these homemade noodles.
Bring that saucepan pot to a boil here. Add some olive oil so they won't stick to each other. And some salt in there for some accelerated boiling and some flavor. And what you're gonna notice right off the bat is these noodles are gonna sit on the bottom of the pot, and as they start to warm up, they're going to rise to the top of the pot. Well, hey, little kitchen counter garden, I didn't see you there. We're gonna bring the noodles off of the boil. This is what they look like when they're done. Oh yeah, that is something to be proud about right there. That pumps me up. That is wonderful. We're gonna take a nice little scoop of these noodles. Look at the texture, look at the consistency. Very beautiful. Ajua, from scratch Alfredo. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Look at that. You really outdid yourself there, darling. Wild caught Alaskan salmon. And I'm just gonna go in there with my bare hands. And we're gonna set that just gentle. The most amazing part that really sets any dish that you cook in your kitchen apart from the rest. We're gonna go in for some microgreens that were grown by yours truly, and they were grown in 6 days. And this is actually the 2nd generation, so we already harvested this last week. This is just what's grown in this week. And we have some melon with a cantaloupe flavor. We have some red acre cabbage that's gonna look beautiful as a garnish. And we're also gonna take some broccoli here, and we're gonna place that, and I'm showing you guys what restaurants will pay for $100 a bag. And some restaurants, depending on how gourmet or how large they are, will buy several bags from you a week. And if you guys are interested in getting this kitchen counter garden and elevating your nutrition per meal with all of the trace minerals, vitamins, photosynthesizing chlorophyll that detoxifies your blood, all of the minerals, and all of the nutrients that microgreens offer, you can go down below in the description and get yourself a grow kit. We ship nationwide. Here we go, folks. Wow. I just went on a flavor ride. I can't even explain to you the salty, savory, textured, noodly, homemade from scratch. Talking about that upper palate fish, nice and soft, delicious, fresh, and the microgreens with a pop of that herbal flavor. I taste a little bit of that red acre, I taste a little bit of that broccoli, just fresh, nice and poignant. That's what I'm talking about, folks. You guys gotta get on game. Cook from scratch, grow your own food with your bare hands, growing your fruits, put it in the freezer, come back later, enjoy it again, and God bless you. After 45 minutes, 20 minutes, what is it?
45. We ain't making pesto.
We're not?
No.
It says pesto.
It's